Hello, my name is Ben Thrift, Territory Sales Manager for Pioneer Seeds, Central Downs, Southern Downs and Border Rivers region. Today I'm here to talk about fall armyworm and fall armyworm management strategies. Fall armyworm became a major economic pest within the agricultural sector from Northern Australia all the way down the eastern seaboard into New South Wales from season 2021. Fall armyworm has become a major pest within corn crops, and it's something that we have to look at going forward within the corn industry. Pioneer has been working extensively with government agencies as well as commercial partners to look at ways of how to better manage fall armyworm and come up with management strategies to help corn become a successful crop within growers' rotational programs. Today I'll go through some basic principles to what to look out for with fall armyworm, as well as some basic management tips to help into the 2022-2023 corn season. So the first step with fall armyworm management that we see is prepare and plan. So if you're looking to grow corn this summer, is to look at your options. So look at your early versus late plant risks, as well as look at the numbers that are formed over the season if you are to go to a late plant with fall armyworm. Preferably early planted corn works well because you are getting in front of the pest before it becomes quite endemic and builds in numbers within the season. As well, with fall armyworm, it is a different pest to Heliothis, where you will need to crop scout through the season. So it's best to look at a good consultant or an agronomist within from your local reseller or network to help you manage and plan your corn season ahead. Look at gross margins as well as control measures as well to look at the economics of it, to see if corn is going to fit your program and if you're willing to look at the control measures. IPM is also another way to plan and prepare for your corn season. Look at your management strategy to see if it'll fit a good IPM practice to help the corn and the beneficials help with managing the fall armyworm within the crop. A very good strategy with looking at your plan and prepare is looking at the early plant option. Early planting of corn allows you a number of ways to get your crop in the ground early, as well as capitalise on early planting moisture by getting ahead of the fall armyworm pressure the season ahead. Ways to look at this is look at your soil temperature. Ensure that your soil temperature is 12 degrees and rising. For example, in the Central Downs, soil temperatures around this are beginning to happen around about mid to early September. So liaise with your consultant around this. Planting early allows the crop to get away and established under either low or non-existent pressure, as fall armyworm doesn't tend to multiply quickly or get going in the season until temperatures begin to warm. Thus, corn can be planted in cooler conditions and temperatures to allow it to establish well and get ahead and grow a good biomass before fall armyworm if it does present. Step 3 is crop monitoring. As indicated in the plan prepare strategy, it is good to have a good agronomist or consultant who's had experience with fall armyworm to be employed to check your crop, as well as yourself to look at management. When scouting for fall armyworm, this should occur early hours of the morning or during the later part of the morning, as fall armyworm are most active under shady or dark conditions. They do not like sunlight and are more nocturnal. However, they are found when looking for fall armyworm within the whorl or the darker parts within the plant, down in the leaf sheath. This should be carried out at least twice weekly in the early phases of the crop to gauge numbers and see how fall armyworm are progressing within your corn crop, as numbers can change quite rapidly as temperatures warm up and can cause damage very, very rapidly, especially in early phases of the crop's life, moving into the later phases of the crop's life. When the crop is emerging from the ground to roughly 6 leaf stage is a very critical stage for fall armyworm. In the early plant, it can be not as critical as the numbers are quite low during this period. However, if you plant during the season, planting and looking at that early crop phase is critical, as fall armyworm can do a lot of damage early and a lot of very damage quickly by taking out your plant stand and reducing plant populations. Key indicators to looking for fall armyworm within a crop at that early crop stage is you will find windowing, or you'll find that the crop leaves, admittedly this is a more mature crop, but when the crop is quite tiny, you'll be able to fold the leaves apart and look for that windowing. Generally they'll start producing small pinholes, as the larva is quite small and hard to pick up by the naked eye, so a hand lens is critical to find this. Other indications you'll see is moth traps. Having a pheromone trap early in a crop is key to see how the moth numbers are building and how fall armyworm are looking and numbers are increasing. A good way of doing this again is talk to your local agronomist or talk to your local consultant to help you prepare for this and engage a pheromone trap to be placed in your farm as the crop is emerging. As the crop gets past the 6 leaf stage to 7 leaf stage, good crop nutrition can help this and help accelerate growth and help the plant grow to accelerate above fall armyworm under moderate to low pressure. Under high pressure, control measures may need to be implemented or enacted at this stage as well. So again, talk to your crop consultant or agronomist about specific insecticide control strategies if needed, or continue with your IPM management if you are getting good control. As the crop gets larger and bigger and you begin into tasseling, crop monitoring is also very critical. So looking at your tassels, looking at your cob and looking at damage. For example, in this plant, it has suffered some fall armyworm damage. The bullet holes are mainly from the larger larvae. We have no windowing here as the crop's more mature. So look for that sort of bullet holes or more so that crop windowing on the leaves, and that'll show that larvae has emerged. Another key point in your fall armyworm management strategy is to look at water management and crop nutrition. We have found over the last couple of years that fall armyworm incidents in crops that are either stressed or nutritional stressed are quite high, and that the crop isn't able to recover successfully after heavy infestation or crop damage if numbers tend to die back or die down. So having a good solid strategy around this is key. Is sitting down with your agronomist or consultant at the start of the season to enable how much water the crop will be given, as well as how much nutrition we put under for your set yield targets. Pre-planting fertiliser is key, as weather may be adverse and a crop may not be able to get the fertiliser on at the key points of growth stages, thus induce stress. So again, planning your fertiliser strategy, when to apply, and how much you would like to apply for your yield target is critical. Other ways to also look within your management strategies to help you with fall armyworm. Look at planting times, breaking up your planting as well. Staggering planting can also help, or talking to your neighbours as well when they're planting. Having a good area-wide management program is also another key to success with fall armyworm. We've found that if plantings are staggered too much, that the fall armyworm that are built up in the first crop tend to march into the second crop. So either planting all your corn at once or planting at different space times but not too late can help with management of this. Other ways is look at good control of volunteers through the off season as well. So looking at host plants and making sure that your volunteers are cleaned up so it's not allowing to breed up fall armyworm. Other ways you can help with fall armyworm on your farm is looking at a good farm hygiene practices. So looking at incorporating residues, looking at cleaning at weeds or host crops within your farm, especially early in the season so fall armyworm numbers don't build up too quickly and jump into your planted corn crop. Another good management strategy with fall armyworm is looking at your planting, timing and strategy within your blocks that you're doing this summer. Blocks of corn that are planted very close together, especially in the early part, do work well as it allows the crop to emerge evenly and get going and grow quite successfully before numbers tend to build. If you are looking at planting corn on a late plant, again, this is a key strategy, or trying to plant away from neighbouring blocks, as we have found that fall armyworm do tend to build up in those early blocks and move into later blocks, causing more destructive damage to the crop. Also, engage your neighbours and ask them when they are planting as well to also formulate a good area-wide management program with their consultant and agronomist when the best time to be planting or grouping plantings all together. So management strategies can be implemented early in the season or if numbers do tend to persist. So just to recap on fall armyworm and moving forward is that having a good solid strategy pays. So firstly, engaging with your crop consultant or an agronomist or even a pioneer territory sales manager can help you formulate a good plan for the corn crop ahead. Again, look at the early plant option. Planting corn early has big advantages of getting your crop going away early, getting it into early moisture, as well as getting it away before the fall armyworm pest begins to persist within the crop or if it does emerge. It allows the crop to get up to a later growth stage if numbers do tend to build as the season moves on. As we know, fall armyworm numbers do increase with heat. Having a good solid nutrition plan and water plan as well to help alleviate stress on the crop is key, as well as having your monitoring strategy set up with your consultant or agronomist so that the crop can be monitored quite regularly to allow if management strategies need to be imposed or to see how numbers are going. As we've indicated, there are control measures such as insecticides that you can talk to again with your crop consultant or agronomist, as well as having a good solid IPM strategy and plan ahead. As well, looking at other options such as substantial planting, as well as looking and talking to your neighbours of creating an area-wide management plan within your cropping area can help. For further information, there's also a wealth of knowledge amongst our government departments and commercial partners, so please feel free to contact them or as well look on our Pioneer website.